I hope you are all having a great day. I am Shushmita. In our last session, we learnt how the British neglected the demands of Congress by adopting the divide and rule policy and supporting other organizations like the Muslim League. In this session, we will continue learning about more of such organizations of that period from the topic National Movements in India, Partition and Independence 1939 to 1947 from class 10th Social Studies. Learning outcomes. You will be able to know about the Hindu Mahasabha, the Pakistan Resolution, the Quit India Movement, Subhash Chandra Bose and the Indian National Army INA. Keywords. Resolution. Affirm decisions to do or not to do something. Autonomy. The right or condition of self-government. Mobilize, prepare and organize for active service. Negotiations. Discussions aimed at reaching an agreement. Observe the concept map. The Hindu Mahasabha and the RSS, the Hindu Mahasabha and the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh RSS, a national cultural organization, were mobilizing Hindus across the country. These organizations wanted to unite all Hindus and give out a message that India was the land of the Hindus as they were the majority. Many members of the Congress were also impressed by these organizations. The Congress made attempts to create a secular understanding among its members. To do so, they tried to connect with the Muslim population. They wanted to change the impression created by the messaging and activities of the various religious organizations. The Congress argued that Hindus and Muslims were not different but part and parcel of one nation, India. However, the British noticed the fears of the Muslim League about Hindu domination and suggested ways to make the Muslim feel secure. The Pakistan Resolution. Many people felt that separate governing arrangements were needed for regions where there was a Muslim majority. The Urdu poet Muhammad Iqbal, the writer of Sare Jahan Se Achha Hindustan Hamara, spoke for the need of a Northwest Indian Muslim state in his presidential address to the Muslim League in 1930. The name Pakistan or Pakistan was coined by Chaudhry Rahmat Ali, a Punjabi Muslim student at Cambridge University, UK. He desired a separate national entity for Muslims. However, most members of the Muslim League and other Muslim leaders dismissed this idea and did not take him seriously throughout the 1930s. Soon, the political situation in India took a drastic turn. The British policy of divide and rule in India led to a political shift, with the Muslim League demanding autonomy for Muslim majority parts of the country through a resolution which later came to be known as the Pakistan Resolution. Leaders from the Congress and Muslim League initially tried to negotiate different ways to solve the issue raised by the Muslim League. But when the negotiations came to a standstill, the idea of a separate national state started gaining a grip. The Congress had failed to fulfill the demands of Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the leader of the Muslim League. Between 1940 to 1946, the Muslim League convinced the Muslim population of a need for a separate national state. Peasants could imagine a country where they were not exploited by Hindu zamindars and money lenders. Muslim traders, businessmen, and job seekers could live where they did not have to compete with the Hindus. There would be greater religious freedom. The Muslim elite would have the freedom to run the government according to their needs. Since many prominent Congress leaders were jailed during this time, the Muslim League was able to gain more popularity, and this finally led to the fulfillment of their cause. Quit India movement. By 1941, Japan's expansion into Southeast Asia threatened Indian territories, prompting the British to seek Indian support in the war against Japan. In March 1942, Prime Minister Churchill sent Sir Stafford Cripps to India to negotiate with Mahatma Gandhi and the Congress, but negotiations failed due to the Congress demand for an Indian defense member. After the failure of the Cripps mission, Mahatma Gandhi decided to launch his third major movement against the British Empire. This was the Quit India movement. The campaign began in August 1942. Gandhiji was jailed, but younger activists organized strikes and destructions across India. Socialist members like Jayaprakash Narayan were active in the underground resistance movement. In districts like Satara and Medinipur, independent governments were declared. British forces responded, but it took over a year to suppress the rebellion. In the meanwhile, the Communist Party of India supported the British war effort due to the Nazis' attack on the Soviet Union, calling it a people's war. Gandhiji believed Indians could handle Japan independently after the British left India. Japan's initial victories against Americans and Europeans sparked strong impressions in India, as it seemed European colonialists would be defeated soon, and Japan's Asian status made it possible for Indians to stand up against Britain, dismantling the myth of British superiority. Subhash Chandra Bose wanted to use the opportunity created by a weakened British Empire. He claimed that Indian independence was of the utmost importance and we should take the help of the Japanese to overthrow the British Empire in India. He secretly went to Germany and Japan and gathered an army of Indian soldiers in 1942. Formation of INA. In the beginning, these soldiers were members of the British Army. They had been captured by the Japanese forces when the British were defeated in Burma and Malaya. They were prisoners of war. Subhash Chandra Bose recruited them in his army, which he called the Indian National Army, INA. Later, many other Indians also joined the army. This included both men and women. However, Gandhiji and a few other leaders did not agree with the plans of Bose. He felt that the Japanese could not be trusted with the hope of Indian liberation. But Bose continued his path and led the soldiers of INA to fight along with the Imperial Army of Japan against the British forces for almost 3 years. This was a very difficult and dramatic time for the entire world. At one point, it seemed like the Allied forces would lose the war. However, Russia stopped the Nazi forces with a victory in Stalingrad. The Allied forces soon regained control and eventually won the Second World War. After this, it is not certain whether Bose disappeared or died. In June 1944, when the war was about to end, the British government released Gandhiji from prison. They set the time for another round of negotiations and talks for Indian independence. So, in this video, you have seen about the Hindu Mahasabha, the Pakistan Resolution, the Quit India movement, Formation Indian National Army, INA. Thank you for watching this video.